Wind Down Wednesday is brought to you by Mila Eve Essentials. Visit MilaEveEssentials.com for 100% pure, therapeutic essential oils and other products. Nature knows best, and so does Mila Eve.
What's up, everybody? Oh, look at that.
That was called me screwing up. Did you see all of the old promos? Just all the old intros were flashing like one after another because I guess StreamYard updated itself and it literally changed the order of my intro for us. Did you see that? It was the old me and Allie. Then it was the old feature of you. And I was like, oh, shoot. I'm just clicking. Then I ran to the bathroom.
I can't believe you made it back in time. I thought I was about to do this by myself. So that's crazy. I know you didn't wash your hands, but you know.
I did. I just wet them real fast. Right. I'll be calling me out like that.
The oil's on.
Oh my God. I'm over here done. I'm sitting here like hitting each intro like, what? Why is it not the first one? What in the world is going on? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Wind Down Wednesday. I just got off a tea with Monique and it went overtime. So I was like rushing so I can change the set, move the lights, move the computer, plug everything in. So it's just one of those nights, but we're going to do this because I'm really excited about our topic tonight. Riley, looking beautiful as always. What's going on?
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Hi, everybody.
What are you? Look, Delencia. I always say Delencia. I know your darn name, Delcinia. Is cracking up at us. Let me tell you, that was just hilarious because now when people watch the whole episode back, they're going to see the old promo, the second promo, and then bam, oh, she got it right that third time. Y'all.
But the thing is, it gave you a chance to use the restroom. So there you go.
It sure did. Thank you.
I just thought you were playing extra stuff to buy yourself some time.
Oh my God. No, that was just a whole mistake. So maybe I shouldn't have said anything and people would have thought that was
nobody would have known.
Okay. No, so listen, all right, I'm drinking tonight the same that I was already drinking on from my last show, Tiffany Moon's 3 Moon Winery, her Cabernet Sauvignon. It was so good I bought a whole case. It's really the truth. So cheers. What you having, girlie?
I heard you say that it's replacing Camus for you. I'm like, that's huge. That's huge.
I haven't had Camus in a while. It's just too sweet for me now that I stopped eating meat. So
I'm drinking something from 2018 that I cannot pronounce. I'll just show y'all.
Côtes de it's French. What's the last word? I can't see it.
Rhone, Rhone.
Rhone. I don't know. We just gonna say it like that, make it cute.
Rhone. Côtes de Rhone. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, it's actually really good. It's the red wine. It's good.
Okay. No. All right. So look, we're going to get into the show. I'm really excited because our special guest is one of my first cousins. She's my cousin. And y'all saw her sister, Denisha, on here like a few months back. And this is my baby cousin. And she hates when I call her that because we're really not that far apart in age. But she was born after me. So, you know. But what I'm excited about is the fact that our topic is talking about turning nothing into something. And we all had time during quarantine, and some of us made really good use of that time. And Daneen Quarles is one of them. She has an amazing book that she just released, Funny Brown Boy. And I'm excited because I ordered this paperback. She had just released the paperback version, and I got it. And thank God I'm an Amazon Prime member because it came right away. I'm so excited. And Daneen, come on to the screen. Welcome to the show.
Hey, we're on here. Look at Cousin. Hey,
I'm so excited. We have so many stories to tell because Daneen and I we're like a few months apart. And we literally, when I tell you, we grew up together, and then we both were pregnant at the same time.
Yes.
We both had our first sons, and we just shared that motherhood journey together.
Isn't that
And I'm
fun?
just excited. Yes, it's so
And
crazy.
you know I was going to get you. Oh my goodness! I said she better not say this is my baby cousin.
And she
She's
did.
going to be like 60 years old, and she's going to be like, "That's my baby cousin."
Baby
over
cousin.
there.
Yes, but no, I'm so proud of you. I love how I was very impressed when I got the book. I was like, yes, I ordered the Kindle version, but I'm a hard copy person. I got the Kindle version too, but I could not wait when I text you and I was like, hey, when's the paperback version going to come out? And you said it's coming soon. As soon as I saw you post on Instagram that it was ready, I literally logged right into Amazon and ordered it right away. I love a hard copy. My kids like to have a book when they're in bed that and Christopher's reading now to his siblings. So it's really cool.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
You know what? A lot of parents, and I love that we still like novelties. We still like the paperbacks. You know, the generation, they're on the Kindles, and you would think that they would just read from there, but you know, they really want the book. It's something about that. And then, you know, I said this has to come out. We have to get the paperback. And to be honest, I was surprised at how good it came out.
Good.
A lot for the editing process of it and changing colors and things like that. And I was like, hold up, I don't want this looking janky. So let's make sure this first one comes out great. And it did.
It did. I'm so proud of you. Oh my God. Wait, Dulcidia is drinking Dr. Nettles organic herbal turmeric ginger tea with ice. Listen, we had Dr. Nettles on, what was it, 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks. Was that 2 weeks ago now?
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. And thank you for supporting Dr. Nettles. I love when we have people on and then our viewers support those individuals, because that's really what it's all about. So thank you so much. And you know, I got to shout out Buffy because I see her in the chat. Buffy!
I was going to say, this is a proud mommy moment. This is where I'll be like, hey, Mom, I made it.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Anytime I have family come on, it's just a whole different show. So I already know we about to be cutting up, telling old stories and everything else.
Don't get started. Don't do it.
Yes. All right. So I want to know, what was your inspiration behind this book, and what just prompted you to do this? Tell everybody what you do for a living, because you're into, tell them how you're into graphic design and websites and all of that, right?
I'm a full-time IT person, IT specialist, and I do that 9 to 5. It's a busy day. I'm actually on the computer all day now, and I can actually work remotely, which I didn't have to before, but because of the changes with IT, a lot of stuff is handled remotely. We're handling cloud remotely, cloud support. We're handling just remote with I do a lot with corporate America. So we got different people who are on, lives using different applications. So I had to actually support all of that, and it's a long drawn out day. That's why I said tonight would be a good night for some wine. I never really do wine at night because I get headaches, but this is a special day with my cousin.
So what are you having tonight? Let's do a toast.
So just a little rosé. It has the watermelon hints because I love watermelon.
Okay.
I'll do watermelon lipstick. I'll do watermelon readers, and I don't really pick out wine as much. So I said, just add watermelon in it, and it does taste good.
I love it.
You can taste the watermelon in it?
No, it's just the flavor of it just has a good rosé. Sometimes it's a little dry, but that watermelon tastes good.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, that sounds really good. Cheers.
Congratulations.
Mm-hmm. So, all right. So I really wanted you to point out, this is what I loved about the quarantine, outside of obviously the whole issue of COVID and the losses and the craziness that's been going on. The one bittersweet thing about quarantine has been the time that we've been able to have to explore ourselves, to spend time with our family and everything else. But what I love most is the fact that I talk to so many women who are starting these businesses during quarantine, and their line of work is completely different than what their new venture is. So like, I basically was doing my parenting website, Not for Lazy Moms. I ventured off into my essential oils. Riley is a performer by day. Like literally, that's what she does. And went through a point where it's like, oh my God, it's quarantine. I'm not going to be able to perform. And now she's a freaking designer. And then I'm looking at Daneen, you're an IT person who is at a computer, and now you're an author. You know, so it just shows that there's so much versatility in who we are, and we should not ever just be tied down to just one thing. So how did you go into this journey of writing this book? Tell us about your inspirations and everything else and how it just came to pass.
That's a perfect setup, because this will be something where I say I woke up one morning and said I want to write a book. And it literally was that, because the days during quarantine were stressful. Like, actually, I was on furlough. I was unpaid for like 6 weeks, and my husband lost his first job because he worked at a school, and my son was home, with virtual learning, and the teachers are telling us, this is the very beginning of it, before they kind of had everything together. The teachers are saying they're giving us all these subjects that we have to teach our child. And I'm saying, I didn't sign up to teach my child. I actually want to parent, but I don't want to teach him, because I think I found out what my limits were in those moments, because when I had to sit down with him, and knowing his personality now, he doesn't handle stressful situations. He'll get really angry. And then I found out some things about myself emotionally, that I can get aggressive and impatient. And those two things came together, and it was just a bomb exploded. So he could not learn. He was not learning, right?
Wow.
Number one, it was not the right space. It was not the right environment. It was the bad energy, and he would just check out. But one of the funny things about him is that if he is totally stressed out, he'll check out, right? And he'll go find something that is funny, or do something that is funny. Yeah. And I saw him immediately right after we kind of just argued. I'm arguing with an 8-year-old. That's where I had to sit down and tell myself, it's not about you parenting. It's not about your authority over this child. You really got to hear this emotion that is coming out of him. He's stressed. He's aggravated, and he's has a little anxiety a little bit.
Yeah. And
so I pulled back, and I was still stressed. I saw my son, he goes right on the iPad, and he's like playing this YouTube video that he plays all the time, and he's cracking up every single time. And I'm looking at him like, this is interesting. He can go, and of course kids have a short attention span, but he found a way to change his emotion from anxiety or whatever he was feeling to laughter immediately. And I said, this is something important, because I always go by a proverb, a day keeps the doctor away. Like, if you read a proverb, get the wisdom from it, you can really get something that you need in that moment or in your life. So I go by Proverbs 17:22, where it says, a merry heart does good like medicine, but a broken spirit dries the bones. And I put it in my book because we look at what laughter can do. We laugh on a daily basis, but when you're old, when you're in your day, you got your kids and everything going on, you probably didn't laugh that day. And so I sat and I said, I didn't laugh. I don't remember the last time I actually had like a thigh slapper laugh. Yeah. Like, I sat there and was like, he can do this immediately. So I said, we, even as adults, have to intentionally laugh. Why? Because number one, it removes and relieves tension in your body. Yep. Right? Tension in your body can cause stress internally. And your emotions are now in a better mood. It's a better mood for you. It's a better mood for your husband, your sisters, and your brothers. Yeah. You're in a better mood as a parent, and for your children to reflect it and to see and mimic it at the same time. And I think laughter and finding this, which is such a component of joy, and that's a character and it's a fruit of the spirit, that I want to make sure that we're infusing that into children. Yes. Like, finding that inner part of your joy and hold on to it. Because if you ponder on an issue, one issue can be in that moment. You can ponder on the issue without resolving it, and it can end up being a week. You're still thinking about it. It can end up being a month, and God forbid it ends up turning into bitterness, and you're a grown person with the same issue that you had when you were maybe years ago, whatever that issue was. Yep. But I think breaking that cycle of, the emotion of getting overwhelmed is laughing. Simple.
I love it. No, you already know I'm a firm believer in that. Yeah. A whole clown. Yes. Yeah. No, I definitely enjoyed that. Laughing and just like having those good conversations. And it's so funny. Like, sometimes as parents, I know I tend to do this. when I'm so busy parenting my kids that sometimes I forget to just kind of have a moment with them and just kind of sit back and just ask them just any random questions like, how was your day? You know, what did you do that was fun? What made you happy? What made you sad? And during quarantine, it definitely helped me to calm all the busy and to have those conversations. And they say the funniest stuff.
Me too.
Like, and then you realize these certain patterns, and then you start realizing how much your kids literally sound like you. When they're like, Riley, no, when Riley's over here, like, my kids get it, honestly. Like, my daughter, like, Riley was trying to Riley's amazing at like drawing out sketches and things like that. And Riley was drawing a picture of Milani, and Milani asked her to. Riley's like, you know, draw one of me. And as she's sitting there, Riley's like, okay, I can do it, but you have to be very still. So she's like, okay. So she's like this, and Riley starts drawing, and then she's just like, well, you gotta be still if you're, and then she'll just make these funny comments, and Riley's like, she literally acts and talks like you.
Yes, she is.
Still.
She is a little Monique, and it's so funny because she's a middle child, just like you. So it's just hilarious to me.
Yes,
and then she took the drawing and put her own thing on it. She started coloring it and everything. I'm like, do your thing, you know. But it's really funny how much she's just like you.
Well, her being the only girl, she kind of just has you as an image too, anyway. Because I had my, you know, we had each other. I had my sisters, you know, and I was able to learn from them, you know, and having them as, you know, we were always together, you know. So that's good that she, you know, she can look at you, and you're doing the bomb stuff, you know. And when I saw her the first time, I said, oh no, she's a star. Like, I knew she has the star quality, even at, what was it, 2?
Yeah, that little girl is something else. And you know, so one of Denise's older brothers, Randy, he was here with his family a few weeks ago, and he has 5 girls, and he was like, yeah, Moni, you got to catch up. And I was like, no, I don't. I said, I'm good, I got 3, I'm done. But it was funny because as soon as Randy saw Milani, he said, yo, that is literally like me seeing you all over again. He said, that is literally you. Like, he said, I can't believe how much y'all look alike. And sometimes I don't even recognize it. But just having those moments where you just kind of sit back, and they just crack me up. Like, they're so fun. They're so happy. And it reminds me of like us as kids growing up. I look back at some of the things we used to do and say, and I was like, yo, we was off the chain.
We were. I mean, it was fun, but you know, we have the opportunity to say we had a good childhood, but a lot of people don't have that opportunity to look back over their childhood. And that's why I think this period for this generation is important to remember the good things and find some internal stuff. Because I feel like, you know, this world obviously went crazy. Maybe families went haywire, but I think people's emotions were dealt with as well. I mean, it was the pressure of everything going on, and people were getting whatever was not right that you've been dealing with it, or that you probably subsided a little bit and never dealt with, that came out as well. And I noticed that even in myself. I'm saying I have aggression.
Wow.
And I have to deal with this because I don't want this to be where my son is dealing with it and he can't get rid of it. So I said, what is it that I can help? And this is not just the first book. This is a series of emotional health and just intelligence on your emotions. You know, our culture actually never dealt with emotions. You know, we have a historical, you know, background on suppression because, you know, it was never valued. You know, you just be here. That's where your ultimate position is. But whether we can deal with our emotions and learn who we are and express it the right way, it won't turn into anger. You know, I always talk about the anger iceberg, where the anger is at the tip of the ocean, and everything underneath is all these other feelings. And all the other feelings is pretty much whether you was embarrassed, you was stressed, or you was anxious, or you was offended. And I said, let's deal with those little ones before it turns into the anger.
Right.
So it's a series. The next one is I wrote 3 books actually during quarantine.
Okay.
And I realized how long this is going to be, like the process of getting it done.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about Anxious Brown Boy, which is pretty much going to talk about anxiety in a child during COVID.
Wow, I love it.
Yeah.
That's huge
that's
because
really
people
good.
don't talk about that. People don't talk about what kids, because, everyone back in the day used to say kids should be seen and not heard. So people never even really talked about what kids go through. They go through things the same way adults do. And so that's amazing that you have that coming out.
Yes.
Yeah, I say these are the same emotions that children have that adults have. It's no little emotion. It's the same emotion.
Yeah.
Wow. No, I love that too. Yeah, I definitely am a firm believer, because I remember one of the biggest eye openers for me when I was pregnant with my first child, Christopher. And someone said to me, yeah, when you give birth, that child goes through stress and trauma the same way your body does. And I was like, wow, I never thought about that. I just thought, oh, it's a new baby. You're giving birth to this new baby. The baby comes out, it cries because that's what it's supposed to do. But then that's, it's new. Why would it be stressed? But the journey through the canal and everything else, and it helped me to see babies differently. It allowed me to see them as little people. And that's pretty much how I parent my kids. It's like recognizing that, no, I call them little humans. Like you're a little human. Like you are a human just like me. You're just smaller. But your mind, your emotions, your ability to take in things is the exact same. You just process things differently than me. And if I don't tackle certain things that you're processing in a way that might not be very good, if I don't tackle those things now, you'll be a big human and you'll still be dealing with it, So yeah. Wow. I love that. So Funny Brown Boy is a journey to, I guess it's almost like a self-help journey for children.
Well, it's a story about the boy who just in his day during quarantine found little things that were funny. And, during quarantine, they were home. And so these are literally things that my son does or did at that time. Okay. And it was about him saying, oh, I want to make a funny face. And I want to share this funny face during my virtual class. And I wanted to have images that reflect the time period.
Okay.
And I wanted to make sure there was virtual learning, wearing masks, and 6 feet apart, all those guidelines. Because you never know, 20 years later, somebody might want to pick up this book and say, we need some history on what happened during that. I said, let me make sure these pictures and images are here. And this is a historical moment. Like this will go down in history, right? So the kids will have literature on it. But I wanted to make sure we had some images about that. But he pretty much shows different ways to find laughter and how he can share that, with other people and just continuing on that process, because that's being joyful and merry on purpose, not by accident, not by personality, because I feel like I'm an introvert and I feel like I'm maybe a little bit more serious. It depends. You got to be my girl's girl before I, get into crowds. But because of personalities are so different, I think that this one thing is something that is universal, and that is joy, because it is who, and this came to me the other day and I wasn't even thinking about it. And I was looking at a story about Abraham in the Bible and how his first blessing was Isaac, the son, his firstborn. And I said, Isaac, why am I thinking about Isaac? Well, Isaac means laughter. God sent him a son to laugh. I said, this is not just something that we do as a person, as a human being. This was intentional. Yeah. I said, okay, this is intentional for us because we need it for our souls. Yes. This is a medicine for our souls.
Yes. No, I always say, I bet God be laughing at us like y'all off the chain down there. I firmly believe that. Let me ask you, the process of writing this book, I went through it last year as well.
Yeah.
What did it do for you? I know it did a lot for your son. I know that he probably looks at this book and he's just so proud because it resembles him and it's about him. But what did it do for you as the author and the mom?
We love our kids, and being a parent I could talk about kids all day, right? Because I've been a parent for 8 years. So I'm saying this is something that, I stumbled upon. I wasn't thinking about it, but I always thought about, I had an idea every day about how I'm going to move into entrepreneurship, every day. And it never really felt, never really followed through with it. because I always worried about resources and things like that. But for some reason, I had, we had the time and I had opportunity. And let me tell you, I was eligible for the stimulus check. And I went, like I said, I went on furlough, and I used that money to invest into it.
Yes, see.
AKA STEMIs that did help us out. Thank you.
Yes.
So I invested pretty much. I said, because I'm not worried about, losing the money. And I was really more importantly, it was like, this was a push. It wasn't like I have to do it. It was like it wasn't like I have to do it.
Yeah.
It was like, maybe this is necessary because maybe this is a journey God wants me on.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I need to just submit to it because everything is just falling in my lap. If I researched it, or as soon as I opened the door to it, I had contacts and people on how to do it. They said, no, just, do it like this. Oh, I found groups of people who are doing children's books, and did a lot of research, on behind the scenes. But
you mean like a support group of people that were doing books?
Just people on Instagram. I said, let me find out who is already doing this and how they do it, and doing my own research on it. And, and I said, okay, I can do this. And then the first version that was easy enough to come out was the Kindle version, and getting everything copyrighted and all things like that. I was very surprised because it went through, and I gave myself time as far as a year concerned, because sometimes I put short times on stuff I want done. Like I'll say, I want this done in 3 months.
Right.
But I said, I want this done in the year. Like I gave myself a year, and I said, I want this completed by the year. And that was actually reasonable enough time for me to get it done. And I was, it made me feel really proud about it. But my family, we multiply. I have 14 maybe nieces and nephews. And, my sisters my sister is a, counselor. My other sister, Deanna, she's also in industry with children. And we just kind of like to nurture, we just have that kind of gift. And this is just one of those things. It's important for us to nurture this generation.
Yeah. No, that's kind of like how we grew up. Like it was always like, so we all grew up in the church, and it was like a family church. And it was the Reeds and the Coxes, and we were always together. And anytime anybody in the church had a new baby, they were ours. So when it comes down to nurturing and creating a community, that is us like to the 10th power for sure. So no, I love that. I cannot wait. So I just got the book today. And I told Christopher, I said, I got a new book for us to read, at bedtime. So he's probably, I don't know what time it is, but hopefully he didn't go to sleep, but he already knows it's on our reading list for this week. So I love that. And then I told him, I was like, this is about your cousin, Landon. And he was so excited. So I had to show him pictures.
Yeah.
So first of all, they got pictures when they were like babies together. And then,
they're the same age. They're
yeah. So, oh my God, I love it. I love it. And it's nice because all of my family, we all live in different states. So it's nice when we're able to get together, and then our kids are able to know their cousins through images and videos and things like that. And they never forget. So I love that. So where do you think this is going to take you? So you said you wanted to be on a path to entrepreneurship. You already are in graphic design and IT. Like you could literally take this super far because you have the knowledge of that back end that most of us don't. So where do you see yourself going in the future? I know you said you have more books coming out. Do you see taking on other authors, or doing books with other people and coming together? And I like the fact that, it's a book that our kids in our community, especially for like little Black kids, it's hard to find information for them that has their people that represent them. Like even on YouTube, sometimes it's like my kids are trying to find videos and they want to relate to the video, and you don't really see that often. So I guess what I'm asking is, do you see yourself taking it to a position where maybe you're doing videos or some type of animation or anything like that down the line?
Hey, I'm open for it. That sounds great, actually. That sounds like a great idea. But I do want to, begin to collaborate with other authors or parents, because I speak with other parents and they have so many different, issues with their children. And I want to really kind of expose even just our culture. And I call it the brown community. I think BLM, Black Lives Matter probably coined the phrase, because we're collectively, we're talking about the Asian community, Indian community, all of us. So it isn't just for, obviously the Black community, it's just for everyone, because he's actually in a very diverse area. He has, white friend, Asian friend. In his classroom, he's probably maybe the only one Black boy, but if there's always one other person, Indian, Asian, sitting at one table. And I said, this is so beautiful. I wanted to maybe make sure we are broadening this to all different, nationalities. So I do want to collaborate with other children's authors as well, and really get some information. This is really to give information, get principle out there for children that's practical for them to understand at their level on how to handle their own emotions. I want to talk a little bit more about their vocabulary of emotions. I want to put more books out that's going to extend the vocabulary, because sometimes, how you ask your child, how was school today? Or how are you doing? They're just like, good.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
That's all they have, to talk about it. So I said, we got to maybe elaborate a little bit more on how to express yourself, especially for this generation. Were you, what made you angry today? Or was there something nice today? What was funny today? So I kind of try to have, and I have to actually do this to my son because he doesn't like to talk as much either.
Yeah.
So
most boys in general, but most kids that age, they won't really talk unless you cry it out of them. Mm-hmm. And we did so when my kids are no longer in public school, they're homeschooled now. I homeschool them. They're going into their second year of homeschooling, and I'm excited about it. I actually really enjoy it because they're learning like true history, and and then it's like integrated into their daily routine and their daily lives. But what I do love is that when he was in public school, we did color coded references for how you feel. And by them picking a color based off of a chart of what they felt, it was nice because it was able to open up that window of conversation to know what's like really going on. Yeah. One thing that I wanted to say and ask you about, if you've ever experienced this, I know for my Black son, he's very energetic. There seems to be this stigma for young Black children, especially boys, where they're so hyperactive just because that's just the nature, that they're then labeled. And that was one thing that I was like, you're not going to label my child just because he has energy, because that's just who he is and he just needs to get it out. He may not want to do work and just like sit at a desk. When my kids do schoolwork now, when we're at home doing schoolwork, they're all over the house. Sometimes they're flipping around. Sometimes they're standing. Sometimes they're in the kitchen. Sometimes they're in the actual room where we do work. And I allow them that freedom. So do you ever think that you'll do maybe I encourage you to do a book where it allows those children to know that their behavior is not out of the ordinary. It is what it is. And it's okay,
You're hitting everything that an anxious brown boy is going to discuss. So you're talking about people who want to, and even just our public systems who really want to diagnose children at an early age, because we have so much technology now that we can do that. And that's good. But, as a parent, you really want to identify your child and understand his ways before you allow or have someone else dictate it and tell them what their child is. And you're right. Some other cultures do not, or nationalities do not understand a Black child. So this is the reason why I want to get emotions handled, because other cultures, white cultures, our other white community can look at these books and see the emotion of a Black boy and what they do and what they talk about and how they feel. And maybe, he doesn't have ADHD. He's just a funny kid, or, he's not hyper, he's just, just a fun loving person. But the good thing about the development of the brain is that you have opportunities to feed your child, like I said, good words and good therapy as a parent. They have this behavior therapy now for kids with anxiety. And one of the things that they do is give them ways to think of positive thoughts on top of your negative thought. So if you have a negative thought of fear, oh, I don't want to go there, or I don't want to see this person, or I don't want to be here because it makes me sad, the therapy session will think of things that are positive in that moment.
Right.
So it gets to the moment, it gets to the core of the issue. And I did this with my son just the other day. He hates going to the doctors. And ever since he was little, he was traumatized by the doctor who he was tested for strep throat, and they stick the thing all the way down.
Oh, that's awful. Yeah.
And he's so dramatic. He's like gagging all over the place. And this time during COVID, he gagged and was the nurse ran out of the doctor's office because everybody's so fearful. But before we went there, I told my son, he's like crying, he's hysterical because, are they going to stick something in my throat? I said, this is what you do. So in the moment where he was fearful, I said, this is what you do. Make sure you stick your tongue all the way out, because he'll be like, they can't see through your mouth like that. So they want to test for strep. So stick your tongue all the way out. We're practicing at home, Like, oh, I'll do it this way. He's like, okay. So when we got there, he did it just like that. The doctor was like, wow. And so he started laughing. He was smiling. He tried to hide his smile.
He's so cute.
He felt good. I gave him thumbs up. He felt good in the moment that he was scared. And I said, These are principles. These are something that has to be embedded for the children. So, I'm reading articles now, and they're saying Black America, the children coming out of COVID and the Black children have a higher risk of having ADHD and mental issues. So that's why there's the big awareness of mental health. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that's statistical based on maybe the areas that they're in, maybe they're in poverty areas, but it's based on statistics. But, it's just interesting that, our culture really just needs more information.
Yes.
We need to start early, with these children for this next generation to really combat mental health issues. Yes. And you don't go off what society tells you. You don't say because the label says I have ADHD, I'm hyper, I have ADHD. No, you don't label yourself automatically to that. Attach yourself to something like that, because then it opens the door that you need medicine for something that's part of your personality. No.
Right. Oh man, if I was young Moni in this day and age, what? They would have had me on medication. Listen here. Listen, I think back to some of the stuff I used to do as a child. You know who I used to torture? And I don't think I've ever had this conversation with her. Stacia. I used to torture Stacia. I used to just irritate her so bad to the point where I knew she probably wanted to knock me upside my head, and she never did. But she would get so mad with me, like, yo, just get away from me. And I would just be so annoying. Like, yo, I would have been diagnosed with ADD, ADHD, everything down the list.
Yeah.
What were you doing to her?
She's just hyper.
Very annoying.
Moni is hyper. She is just, I said, you are in your element as if when you were still a child. She has never changed. Like it would be annoying. She talks so much. She can talk for hours. I remember Dr. Rieger like kicking you out of class
all the time.
She was talking so much. You annoyed him so much.
Remember he used to lock me out the classroom and I was standing on beats on his door?
Oh wait, you had classes together?
Yeah. Yes, we were the same grade.
That's amazing.
So I used to like my teachers hated me, but I was a straight A student, so they knew I would get the work done. So they would be, remember Dr. Rieger was always like, go to Miss Loveland's office. God rest her soul. He was like, go to Miss Loveland's office. Like, I don't want you here. He knew I would be late. So he would rush everybody else into the class, and then he would lock the door so I couldn't get in. So then I would start doing beats on the door, and everybody would get up. Remember Naja used to get up and she start popping it and dancing? Oh my God, let me tell you. Yeah, like I am who I am on like 1,000th level when I was a child.
Yeah.
Off the chain. And I laugh at my kids now because I tell them stories about stuff I used to do and just be annoying. And I tell my kids now, and whenever my son, Christopher, whenever he does something that's just super irky, he'll be like, well, mommy, I get it from you.
At least he knows. You got it on him.
Funny. Oh my God. Oh man.
I wanted to ask you a question.
When I was growing up.
I want to ask you a question. So because you're in graphic design, I'm an artist, so I love the kind of thing. Were you involved in the layout of the book and the look of it, and did you do all the design, all that stuff?
I had to look high and low for an illustrator. I said, I'm not doing this. And I don't do too much with the design of IT. I do more of the networking and things like that.
Okay.
But I looked high and low for an illustrator. They're all expensive, but I found a new illustrator on the scene, Brandon Mock. He's really good. And I described the picture, how I wanted him to look. I literally said, I want him to have big eyes.
Yeah.
And, he did certain things. And I wanted him to really not just be, he wanted to be, just a brown that would kind of relate to different, nationalities.
Right.
So, an Asian mom can say, oh, my son looks like this.
Yeah.
Like this. It's just the color of the skin. If I asked my son, what color are you? He would say brown. He wouldn't say black, and so no, I had to find him, and he just did a great job, and we clicked. It was one of those things, it's one of those things. We clicked. We're here with the storyline and how I want what's in here on this book.
Yeah, he brought the vision to life. It looks good. It's beautiful.
He did a great job. No, I was so happy. I mean, that came literally right on time. Yeah. I was like, I hope I get it in time for the show. No, this has been awesome. Any last parting advice that you can give to people who are on that cusp when they may love their job, but they have another passion and maybe they're afraid to move forward in that passion? What would be the big piece of advice that you would give to that person so that they can take that, that leap of faith?
Take one step at a time. And what the key word was, passion. Identify if it is a passion, and whether, you can really grow in something like this. Like, I can talk about this all day, about how to handle your emotion or checking other people's emotion. I can do this, so I would really just say to identify if it's your passion or not. I'm not saying stop your first job. Like, I'm not stopping my first job. Okay, we got to still pay the bills. But the idea is to really be open to who the other things that you can do, and don't just push away things because you never tapped into that industry.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So be aware of who you are and what you can give, and look at the different industries and see where you can grow in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I love that. And for anybody that's watching, if you look in the descriptions, I gave you information on how to get more information on Daneen and on how to purchase Funny Brown Boy. So make sure you check it out. It's available on Amazon. You can get it Kindle, you can get it paperback. It's available now. I think it's an amazing book. And I love that it's a read that my 8-year-old can read that book. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can read that book to his 6-year-old sister and his 2-year-old brother. And it's fun and it's engaging. So I love books like that. I like books where the kid can say, well, mommy, I want to take part in this bedtime story. And they can actually feel like they're a part of it, but then they're also able to read it. And so no, I love it. This has been great. I'm proud of you. And I love how you've taken advantage of this quarantine time and being able to recognize some of the tendencies that your son has and that you have as well, and being able to turn this into something that people can also learn from. That's huge. And that's what it's all about to me, is helping other people, and I'm sure that many people that are watching right now, they will be able to see this show and say, you know what, this is something that I've been wanting to do. Let me go ahead and do it. Let me push forward. So this is great.
Do it. Go and do it. We need it. There's only 30% of Black people or brown people in children's literature now in the US. So the numbers are rising, but we need to get more children's literature, especially out there, that shows a depiction of our color, our beauty.
Yes. Representation is everything.
It is.
Nobody can ever say otherwise. It's everything. And I love it. And while we're talking about topics of ADD, ADHD, when it comes to children and being able to focus, my essential oils line, Me Leave Essentials, we actually just posted the other day some different essential oils that we thought were beneficial for children who do have those conditions, or just kids in general who just need to focus and they feel like sometimes they might have a little block. Maybe it's a subject that they just don't enjoy. So here I did leave out some oils that are some of my kids' favorites and ones that we recommend. Christopher, who is 8, he's the same age as Landon, Daneen's son. He loves Mind Over Matter.
Okay.
I told him I'm gonna have him do a review of it. It helps him focus whenever he gets frustrated with his reading and writing, because that's the 2 subjects that he hates.
Same.
He loves math, but he hates writing and he hates reading. But he says whenever he puts the Mind Over Matter on, I literally verbatim, this is what he said, not me. I said, what does it do for you when you put this on your forehead? He said, it helps me focus. So I call this a study buddy. So that's a great one. Calm Down is amazing. It has Roman chamomile in it, which is the top tier of essential oils when it comes to relaxing and calming the mood. It's great for children with autism, ADD, ADHD. And then we also have Time Out, same exact qualities and benefits, just a different mixture of oils. These 2 are like whenever I sell these 2, they always sell together for some reason. So those are the 2 that people love the most. And then finally, if you're reading this story as a bedtime story for your children, you can go ahead and put some Sleep Tight on their forehead and they will knock out.
My favorite.
This commercial. Okay, you are working this whole commercial right here.
That's my favorite.
Make sure y'all buy it's
this, Riley. She did this.
Make sure you get your copy. I'm not playing. Get it on Kindle and paperback. How about that? So yeah, get both copies. This way, if you're on the go, you have it on your phone or your iPad. And then if you're at home, you have your copy right there that your kids can pick up and look at. So we're going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, and then go ahead and use your oils while you're reading the book.
and our children are also learning self-care because my son actually wants it right now. He wants me to put the diffuser on with the eucalyptus and the lavender oil because he does it. He actually has a cold and he wants it now. So he's ready for me to put that on, but he does it. He loves the essential oils as well.
Amazing. I got to send you. I'm gonna send you a little care package for him. And self-defense, school time.
Yeah,
everybody needs it. Self-defense, especially the environment that we're in. I have it in roller balls now to make it easy. My kids, they have their own roller balls, and I love that they know which one to use when it's necessary.
It's for immune health.
It's
for immune health.
Yes, it boosts your immune system. I always use self-defense before we're about to take a flight. When I know we're about to be around other kids. We got a birthday party coming up this weekend. So, my family's gonna be in town, stuff like that. I'm like rolling on the self-defense. I put the 10 milliliter blend in my diffuser, purify the air, all of that good stuff. So it really works. It really works. So I recommend that to any and everybody. So this has been a great conversation. Daneen, thank you so much for jumping in on us.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I mean, this is always a pleasure because I said, I'm going to just go in here and chit chat with my cousin. That's all we're going to do.
I love when I get to have my family on. Tasha texted me talking about, I'm going to crash this. Now, if Tasha would have came on, and she's probably watching, and if she isn't watching right now, I know she's going to see this episode. But if Tasha was on here, she'd be talking about how she relieves her stress going to the strip club and everything else. So this was just, Tasha off the chain. Tasha turns our Wind Down Wednesdays into like after dark every time she comes on. It's crazy. Love Tasha. Yes. But yes, thank you so much. As I log out, I'm going to pray that I hit the right video. I screwed that up coming into this.
Thank you so much, Moni. Yes, this has always been Moni. She's always been the person that brings people on when she gets on. I remember her saying this too, Moni. I remember you saying this when we were little. That refuge. You were like, when I get big, I'm bringing all of you on. I just remember you saying that. And we were probably like 14 or 15. And I'm saying, look, she's doing it with her platforms. And
thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you. I appreciate that. That does sound like something I would say. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Daneen. I can't wait to have you back. Look, when you have volume 2, volume 3, look, let's do it. I'm excited. Y'all support. Check all of her information in the description below so that you can follow and support. Let's support these businesses that come on every week for us because they are bringing a wealth of knowledge, and I am so grateful for your time. So y'all have a good night. Be blessed, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Wind Down Wednesday is brought to you by Mila Eve Essentials. Visit MilaEveEssentials.com for 100% pure, therapeutic essential oils and other products. Nature knows best, and so does Mila Eve.